ginagawa mo?
Alam kong mahilig ka mag-mine, pero pati bahay?
Kasi mga best na mine ko na talaga to. Discounted pa.
Paano?
Pag-ibig acquired assets lang yan. Ito depende sa property at type ng transaction, pwede ka makakuha from 10% up to 45% na discount. Pwede pang bayaran through cash or home loan. Mag-register online to get your buyer's ID para makapag-bid. Huwag na kayo magpahuli at baka maunahan pa kayo. Mag-mine na para maging yours na ang forever home mo by visiting the Pag-ibig Fund website.
Mapapamine ka talaga.
Makapag-bid na nga rin.
Mine!
Yours talaga. Eh, jowa mo yan eh.
Sinasabi ko lang na mine eh.
Pag-ibig Fund, solid ka ba?
You look around and you can see a world of possibility. Through the dark or through the night, you know things will be alright. Soon we'll be old. What will feel like home for your family, this dream that you see. Hello, dream home. Hello, dream home, all your own. Hello, dream home, our very own. Hello, 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 I am home.
Hello and good morning, Pen. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. I'm your MC for today, your NREA National Public Relations Officer, Ms. Josephine A. Cortez. Welcome, everyone, to this Zoom meeting, Zoom Business Online. For today, we will be discussing in our business forum online is the 2026 Philippine Real Estate Outlook. It will be given by consultant Georgia Roma Salas. And may we call on our Mr. Mark Jason De Jesus, PRO and Reyes CBD chapter to do our opening prayer.
Sir Mark, audio.
Please unmute, Sir Mark.
Ayan, okay na po.
Thank
All right, good morning everyone. Let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you as we gather today in a spirit of gratitude for the opportunities before us. As we explore the trends and shifts of the real estate landscape, we ask for your clarity and focus. May the information shared today spark innovation and provide the tools we need to serve our clients with excellence. Let our collaboration be marked by professional integrity and a shared commitment to building stronger communities. May this webinar be a source of inspiration and practical wisdom for everyone present. Amen.
Amen. Please remain for our national anthem.
Thank you.
We would like to thank our following partners and sponsors: Pag-ibig Fund, Houseland Urban Estates, OFW Party List, Congresswoman Marisa Del Mar Magsino, the Houselands, First, A. Brown Company Incorporated, Fiesta Communities, Davis Paints, and Real Estate News PH.
In line with our membership development program and to achieve a dynamic partnership among individuals and corporate entrepreneurs, we take pleasure in inviting you and your company to be a regular member of the National Real Estate Association, Inc., NREA, the one-stop trade organization in the industry. The present global trend is inclusivity and not exclusivity. We, in NREA, welcome new members regardless of nationality, belief, and membership in other organizations. Also, we are encouraging our members to become an active member of our working committees. NREA help our members to build network. For more information, you may contact our NREA Secretariat at telephone numbers 02-912-3492 and 725-48731. You can also reach them at their mobile and Viber numbers at 0927-923-1113 and 0965-539-2012, or email them at nrea_org@yahoo.com.
And for our house rules on this webinar, kindly mute your microphones and always turn off your cameras. Only the MCs, moderators, officers, and speakers are allowed to use the microphone and camera. Type your questions in the chat box, and the moderators will assess and handle the questions after all the speakers have spoken.
For our announcement, the SDL webinar for brokers exclusive for NREA members only. So they're qualified for self-directed learning. To avail of the certificate, you log in via Zoom with your registered account, remain present for the entire business meeting, and email Secretariat after the webinar with your full name, REB license number, and license expiry date. This is promotion for the NREA members only. For our welcome remarks, may we call on our consultant, Imelda C. Magtoto, real estate, a broker, real estate appraiser, and master in management and environmental planner. Ma'am May?
Good morning. Thank you. PR Open. Good morning, everyone. Belated Happy Chinese New Year to all. 2026 is the year of the fire horse that denote volatility and a transformation, and as a symbol for disruption, speed, and bold movements. It is customary for an organization or company to plan for the operational year. We review the past or our historical data and equip ourselves with the trends and prospect for the year. We are inclined to consider fact-based, evidence-based, and research-driven indicators to help guide our plans and business decisions. We are geared towards this trend by pivoting, reimagining, and crafting strategies. We are facing the future with initiatives and innovations. So, welcome to our first NREA Online Business Forum for the year entitled 2026 Philippine Real Estate Outlook. Thank you to our distinguished speaker, Consultant Jojo Romac Salas, Head of Research and Advisory of Prime Philippines Incorporated. Our moderators, NREA Executive Vice President Consultant Jovi Tupas, and our NREA VP for External Affairs, Professor Cheryl Sanguyo, who will also give the closing remarks. Our MC NREA PRO Pen Cortez, prayer from Professor Mark Jason de Jesus, our NREA Metro CBD Chapter PRO. Thanks also to our NREA officers, advisors, our chapters around the country, our secretariat, colleagues, guests, friends, and sponsors. More power to you all. And again, thank you.
For the introduction of our special guest and speaker, may we call on our National Vice President for External, Professor Cheryl Sanguyo.
Thank you so much, Pen. Good day to everyone and welcome to all our participants joining us today for the first online business forum of the National Real Estate Association for this year 2026. It is an honor for me to introduce our guest speaker and resource person. He is someone I am truly proud to call not just a respected industry leader, but also a very good friend. Our speaker is Mr. Jojo Romark Salas, currently the head of research and advisory of Prime Philippines, one of the country's leading real estate consulting and advisory firms known for providing real estate services at the highest standard. With over 25 years of professional experience in real estate, Mr. Salas has built a career that spans research, advisory, investment, capital markets, property management, urban planning, and policy-related consulting, both in the Philippines and abroad. And at Prime Philippines, he leads and supervises the research and advisory department, overseeing the end-to-end development of market studies, highest and best use analysis, and feasibility studies across commercial, retail, hotel, industrial, and residential sectors. His work provides critical market intelligence for landowners, developers, investors, financial institutions, and decision makers navigating complex real estate investments. His client portfolio speaks volumes about the level of trust played in his expertise. He has worked with major institutions and organizations such as Ayala Land Group, San Miguel Group, Robinson's Land, Vista Land, Shell, major banking institutions, government agencies, including the Department of Finance, Department of Tourism, DTI, GSIS, and even global firms such as Hewlett-Packard, Intel, JP Morgan Chase, and Zurich Financial. Before joining Prime Philippines, Mr. Salas served as the Director for Global Research and Commercial Real Estate of leading RE based in Chicago, USA. He has also held senior leadership roles in some of the most respected names in the industry, including our CBRE Philippines, where he was executive director for investment properties and capital markets. He was also the executive director for investment properties and capital markets, as well as vice president for business development at Century Properties and Cameron Granville Asset Management, being the vice president and head for property management and disposal. Now, beyond his corporate real estate experience, Mr. Salas has also been deeply involved in urban and transportation planning, bringing a multidisciplinary, forward-looking perspective to property development and investment decisions. He is a licensed real estate broker, real estate appraiser, and real estate consultant, and has recently served as the National Executive Vice President of the Philippine Association of Realty Consultants and Specialists, or PARCS. Academically, his foundation is just as impressive. He holds a bachelor's degree in sociology from UP Los Baños, a master's degree in urban and regional planning, a major in transportation planning from UP Diliman, and is currently a PhD candidate in urban and regional planning, majoring in environmental planning, clearly reflecting his lifelong commitment to learning and thought leadership. Many of you may also recognize him as a regular resource person on property markets and real estate investment, frequently quoted in newspapers and interviewed on radio and television, including features on Bloomberg Philippines. Today, we are truly fortunate to hear from someone who combines technical expertise, strategic insight, industry credibility, and a grounded understanding of both market realities and long-term urban development. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming our guest speaker and resource person for today's forum, Mr. Jojo Romarx Salas.
Thank you, Madam Cheryl, and thank you, Madam May, and the illustrious executives, officers, and members of NREA. I'm honored to be here. So without further ado, let's jump into it. No? Maigsi yung time. I'm sure meron naman open forum mamaya. No? So let me share my presentation. And by the way, yung PDF copy is shared. No? So pwede makikita nyo to and feel free to get a copy from NREA. Okay, can you see na yung slideshow? So basically, ito mainit-init pa to. No? This is what we presented during our annual outlook. No? The Prime Philippines, we conduct the annual outlook, usually start of the year, to focus on reviewing the past year, then ano yung expectation for the year. But this year, special siya, kasi we did a 10-year review and multi-year projection. Normally, if you want to backtrack, no, 1 year, 3 years. So, but if you want to see the trends, we conducted a 10-year review para makita talaga ano ba yung mga trends. Okay, so of course, ang backdrop natin, we have to look at our GDP. No? Ito yung kumbaga, ano natin, sinasabi ang baba. No? Yes, nag-dip ng konti, no? 4.4 compared to the more than 5 or even 6% in the past years. So this is the slowest in the last 5 years. And considering services sector pa rin, no? 57 to 66 or 67% in the past years, so in past decade, talagang service sector. And more importantly, consumer-driven, practically 70, this is last year, not 72.6% of our GDP was from household consumption. Government spending, slightly over 15% lang. So talagang consumer-driven economy tayo. UN Industrial Development Office, no, UNIDO, basically they pointed out yung manufacturing, no, yung multiplier effect niya is 3.2%. And in the past decade, over 37% ang FDI natin, specifically sa manufacturing. So there are really a silver lining, no, kahit mababa. And if you would notice, sabi nga, no, ito yung speech ni Secretary Go presented by Yusek Alejandro during our event. Sabi niya, In Ukraine yung 4.4%, pero globally the average was 2.9%. So talagang actually yung 4.4. Of course, concerning siya kasi nag-drop, no? Especially with the scandal and all, no? But still higher compared to the rest of the world. Of course, Vietnam, China, matataas India, no? But still, mataas tayo compared to other countries, no? But more importantly, I think, no, this is really not only in the past 2-3 years, but in the past decade, no, yung GDP, especially because of infra, yung BBB, then now BBM, no? Right now, we're still about 5% of GDP spent on infra. So ito yung concern, no? But remember yung flood control, mababa lang yun compared to other infra, yung mga bridges, airports. Yes, merong mag-slow down ng konti yan. But considering funded na, especially mga foreign assisted project, definitely yung growth because of spending by the government, especially on infra, merong upward bias for our growth, no. Then binanggit din namin dito yung vehicle, no. So last year tumaas pa ng konti yan pero hindi na reach yung 500,000, no. But still consumers are buying, no. And medyo nagre-reflect na rin yung EV pero considering mababa pa yung EV, no. So yun lang ano natin. Still positive yung ano natin, especially with yung growth, no. Not as strong as before, but definitely may upward bias yung growth natin. Now, I want to focus on this slide, no? And eto, pwede yung picture yan, but you'll be given a copy naman, no? Ito yung in a way, in a nutshell, considering residential, office, and industrial, ito yung pinakano natin na titingnan natin. Yung bar, ito yung minimum maximum, so to speak, or high-low, no? So if you would notice, sa residential, no, yung mid to high-end segment natin. So we are comparing December 2016, then December 2019 before the pandemic, then December 2020, kumbaga yung impact ng pandemic, and yung last year, no? If you would notice sa residential, talagang tumaas, no? Way back, kumbaga ito yung heydays, ito yung boom years, yung tawag natin, no? Boom talaga yung real estate. 2016, 2017, as early as 2014, 2015, talagang all sectors are up, no? If you would notice, nag-drop talaga, no? Especially in yield. So yield, ito basically yung returns mo, no? For condo, in the next 3 to 5 years, we're expecting mataas na yung 6.5% yield for residential. And right now, ang ano natin nasa 4.5. So pwedeng mag-dip yan kung tumataas pa rin ang price, and of course kung mababa yung rent, of course yung yield would be lower. In reality, yung 3%, yung 4.5%, ano yan, consistent sa global standards ng residential yield. Normally, around 2 to 4, maximum 5% ang residential yield. Definitely still higher compared to your time deposit. Pero syempre, kung sanay ka ng double digit, mababa yung 4.5%. No? So yun yung sa condo. And then sa office occupancy and lease rates, no? Pretty much, kung titingnan natin mamaya, we have a slide on that one, no? Especially yung primary CBD, specifically BGC, Makati, and Ortigas, sila yung nag-lead ng pagtaas ng lease rates, no? But if you would notice, occupancy natin, kasi ito yung kumbaga benchmark natin, no? Basically, we're above 80%, although dati nagna 90% tayo, no? Of course, yung low ano natin pag natuloy yung mga upcoming supply, especially in NCR, ng konti to low 80 siya, no? And of course, with the BPO, growing pa rin ang BPO, and we will discuss that later in a bit, no? And of course, yung government offices, no, nag-expand din sila. So that would improve to high 80s, no, or around 88% in the next few years. Ito ang good ano namin, no, in the past 2-3 years, warehouse, industrial sector, ito yung biggest winner, no? So, yes, mababa siya, no? Yung high mo around 350, low mo around 180, nationwide yan. Mababa siya. But still, when you talk of industrial sprawling, sprawling area, hectares and hectares, no? So sila pa rin yung in terms of take-up, no? Kita nyo yung ano natin, above 90%. And ang ano namin dyan is especially yung tight market like Cebu, Davao, talagang high 90s, no, yung occupancy natin. Of course, may mga low 90s or even dipping below 90% occupancy. Yung mga old warehouses like in Bulacan, no, kailangan kasi ngayon modern. We will discuss that in a bit, no. Sige, next slide. I'm sure majority would be focusing on residential. So titingnan natin, no, evolution na tinitingnan namin, no. Way back 2016, it was really a seller's market, no. Halos kahit hindi masyadong gumawa ng homework, mag-build ka lang, nabibenta, 'di ba? Kahit malaki, sige, nabibenta 'yan, no. Right now, no, sa 2025, last year, syempre talagang labanan ng per square meter price, no, labanan ng area. If you would notice, in 2016, majority, almost 40%, NCR condo. We were doing, no, 2015 to 2019, we were doing 15 to 20,000 pre-selling units. Yun ang nabenta, no? Yun yung na-monitor ko before, eh. Between 15,000 to 20,000 sold. Pre-sold yan, reservation sales, yes, pero ganun kalaki yung absorption ng NCR condo during the boom year, so to speak. Right now, medyo mababa na siya, no? But I want to focus on yung yellow. Anong yellow bar? Ito yung investment outside of the Philippines. In the past months, no, especially 2025, late 2024, yung mga overseas Filipinos na buying, kasi yun ang driver natin, no? And driver pa rin sila ng condo sales natin. But some of them are diverting to the Middle East. Kasi in Dubai, no, specifically, no, yung price like 250, 300,000 per square, Dubai price na yun. Wala pa masyadong tax. So it means they're looking at outside of the Philippines. They're buying in the Middle East. No? So yun yung yellow bar, no? Tinitingnan natin. And basically, dati investor-driven. Overseas Filipinos, executives, even foreigners. No? Right now, end user. We will just discuss that in a bit. Why? No? Then, of course, for land, ngayon, right now, it's really a seller's market. It's a buyer's market, no? Before it was a seller's market. Right now, practically more than 50% they want to sell, 39%, or do JV, 20%. No? So majority, they want to dispose. And of course, namimili ang mga buyers. And we'll discuss that later. Bakit hindi basta-basta binibili? Even the top developers, they're really looking at their options. No? Yung demand drivers natin, nabanggit na kanina nga yung sa residential, yung overseas Filipinos, executives. For industrial, really wholesale and retail trade, almost 30%. Transportation, storage, no, logistics, more than 24%. No? And manufacturing, almost 15%. Malaki to, no, substantial. This has been driving, these subsectors have been driving yung warehouses, no, yung logistics natin, no. Office demand still BPO, no, more than 22%. Pero ang professional services, no, yung mga law firms, no, and other traditional offices, almost 14%. Pero in the past 2 years, yung growth ng government sector, no, nag-increase sila, no, more than 10%. So this is a new trend, no. And they're getting new buildings. Yun yung maganda dito, no. Then retail, still F&B, more than 35%. Lifestyle and specialty concepts, and fashion and apparel. So talagang namimili ng mga Pilipino, no. So ito yung mga demand drivers. Now let's focus on yung iba, i-glance to, babrowse lang natin, no. Total, magkakaroon naman kayo ng copy nito, no. Ito ang isang kailangan nating tignan. Practically more than 50%, no, ng market at ng demography natin, millennials and Gen Z. Of course, ito yung tinitingnan, no, why yung condo, why yung office, yung ano yung characteristic nila. Ito yung resimercial, no. Pretty much may impacto because of the pandemic, no. basically tinignan natin dito, we're saying, uso na yung work from home. More than 1 million are working from home. In fact, close to 2 million, sabi, no? Depende kung anong source mo. Ito yung, like before, when I was leading RE, ganyan, no? Yung engineers, even yung digital nomads, both local and international digital nomads. Even yung mga BPOs, nagka-hire na sila. Yung mga ayaw bumalik sa, yung back to the office, ayaw sumunod. Or yung iba, happy na, no? Maganda yung connection. What do you want pag nag-set up ka ng home office mo? Gusto mo, office setup ka kahit nasa bahay. Ganun din naman sa office. Bumalik ka sa office, gusto mo comfortable ka. In our office, we have bunk beds. Pwede kang matulog during your break. Merong mga parang gym, meron kang stationary bike, may treadmill. So parang ang ano mo is, especially yung millennials na binabanggit nga natin, hindi pwedeng parang 8 to 5 same setup, kailangan a lot of movement. So yung sinasabi na biophilic design, no? Yung chair, yung table, yung setup na medyo nakaangat. So ito mga tinitignan. And in fact, tinitignan kahit yung mga HR namin, no? And in fact, meron kaming employment of record, sister company. Tinitignan kung ano yung taste and preferences ng mga employees para ma-hire, no? So ito yung mga changes na tinitingnan natin, not only sa condo, not only sa office, pati sa retail, no? So nababago yan. Okay, next. May open forum naman tayo mamaya. Ito yung binabanggit namin, deconstructing the condo crisis. One, we don't believe na may crisis. Yes, may oversupply. And yes, localized. Normally, ito yung mga nag-bet on the POGO. Sabay yun, double whammy yun. Office, saka yung residential condo. Medyo tinamaan yan. Pero nag-a-adjust na, no? Even in Quezon City, even MOA area, na kumbaga nakukuha na. Nakakapag-upgrade yung flight to quality. Yung mga before, ang na-afford lang ay grade B. Ngayon, kayang-kaya mo ng grade A offices, no? So before, in 2017, yung pipeline natin practically prime in major CBDs. Nung COVID, ang dami lumabas, bumalik sa probinsya, nagbe-beach, di ba? Work from anywhere, remote, at nasa beach, no? So talagang nagano yung suburbs, no? Then right now, talagang yung resimercial nga yung binabanggit natin. Yung impact lang, no? Yung binabanggit ng condo crisis, may biglang mayroong confidence issue from overseas Filipinos. That's why minonitor talaga namin yun. And a lot of yung data namin from interviews and all, tinignan nila, and around close to 20% nag-invest outside of the Philippines na dapat pumupunta yon sa mga nabebentahan dapat natin yun. Anyway, so yun yung med-decline, no? Yung first half med-decline 10 to 25% na sa residential asset values. No? So ano nga ba yung take namin, no? So basically, sabi ko nga kanina, we were doing, eto yung units, no, nung before the pandemic, and we were seeing yung pre-sales, ang na-monitor kong pre-sales 2016 to 2019, we were doing 15,000 to 20,000 condo unit sales, reservation sales during those years, no? At eto yung nangyari right after the pandemic. Nung nag-lockdown, so yung big drop na yan, comparing 2019 and 2020, lahat nag-drop. Kasi nag-drop, hindi lahat, no? Yung mga Sibulan, Masa, and SMDC, in fact, nag-increase pa. Because they adjusted. And because of that drop, I'm sure all of these big players and other players nag-adjust. Kung nagplano yan ng 3 towers, 5 towers, yung mga big players, iipitin, we know that. No, kahit yung pag nag-release yan, hindi naman lahat ng floors i-release sa market, per floor ang release. Ito din per tower. Obviously, yung plan, hindi naman nila sasabihin hindi tuloy. So tuloy yan, say 3 towers, 4, 5 towers, dinelay lang yan. In fact, yung mga plan ng 2020 to 2021, push back to 2022 to 24, even to 2025, no? Basically nag-adjust yung mga developers. And we know that, no, meron yung kumbaga yung temporary scarcity, ayaw mong i-release, lalo yung magagandang floors, magagandang units, no, facing, kumbaga, kung ano yung mga magagandang view, iniipit na natin yan, no? We know that for a fact. So, meron kang temporary scarcity. Ganon din yung mga nag-adjust na mga developers, no? But ang ano dito, of course, yung increasing sa house and lot, no, living. So talagang nag-ano yan, no, nag-change sa preferences. Then, ito yung ano natin, no, in terms of loans, bagsak, no? 2021 nasa 869 billions. After that, once lang nag-breach ng 300 million in terms of loans, no? Ito, importante to. I want you to focus on this one. Especially yung top right, no? Last year data. Basically, people are selling at a loss, no? Around 15 to 20%. Ibig sabihin ng at a loss, bakit loss? One, below zonal. Maraming benta below zonal. Yung nag-break even around 32 to 40%. Yung kumita ng more than 10%, roughly around 5%, the rest on hold. Now check your graphs left. O bakit yung VAT ang taas? Remember, yung VAT natin and yung capital gains natin based on zonal or selling price, whichever is higher. And a lot of the sales done last year and in the past 2 years, no, are below zonal kasi nag-adjust yung BIR. So basically, mataas ang zonal. We're looking at around 20 to 30%, no, na yung zonal values are slightly higher than the selling prices. So yun yung ano natin. So considering this na yung VAT, CGT, Broker's Commission and the rest, around 30% government taxes and of course yung commission natin and dues. So ang matitira sa seller, around 64%. One more thing, ito crucial. Sina Miss Cheryl, marami sa atin kumita dito. Hindi na pwede yung flipping. Ano ba yung flipping? Way back 2015-2016, inipit yan ni Commissioner Kim Henares. Ano ba yung flipping? Before, bibili ka, pre-selling, before ma-turnover, benta mo. Correct? At kaya from developer to the second buyer. One transaction. Ngayon, because of the memorandum circular ni BIR, mag-double at 2 sales na yon. So, another leg of taxes. So, nafe-feel na natin ngayon, hindi na pwedeng mag-flip. Tatamaan ka ng 2 leg ng taxes. That's one, no? Tapos, eto nga, mataas pa yung tax based on zonal compared sa selling natin na below zonal. So, ultimately, right now, kailangan mo, para kumita ka, yung mga investor buyers, kailangan nilang pa rin. Hindi na pwedeng flipping. That's one. Two, hintayin mong tumaas. Kasi nga, before tumataas yung mga prices, mabilis, no? In fact, iyan ko mamaya yung ano natin, yung prices natin. Ito yung REPI. Yung REPI natin, no, yung Residential Real Estate Price Index natin, ang taas niyan. Merong ano nga dyan, more than 10% between quarters. May ganong change, specifically condo, no? Now, from 2019 to 2025, basically nag-increase. Tumaas pa rin naman tayo, no? Roughly around less than 50% ang increase pa rin, no? Compared to the boom years na kaya mong 10% in a quarter increase, no? So ibig sabihin, kung you're just expecting dun sa price or yung capital appreciation, hindi na. Kasi mahahabol ka ng tax, no? So yun yung ano natin. So ang ano namin dyan is, one, yung tax, and of course yung pricing. Hindi na tayo uubra dun sa talagang sobrang taas yung pricing natin. Okay, so solution. Siyempre, yung interest rates, hopefully, bababa yung interest rates natin, no? Moral value. We need to really lobby to the BIR. Kailangan revisit yung zonal values. Tapos, yung VAT, when you're selling, condo owner ka, nagbenta ka, dahil naparenta mo, may CGT ka na, may VAT ka pa. Perhaps, iba-VAT mo yung rent, pero pag nagbenta ka, dapat wala ng VAT yun, no? Siyempre, binabanggit, capital asset ba yan or ordinary asset ba yan? Pero kung individual owners ka, dapat capital gains wala ng VAT, di ba? So yun yung ano natin. Actually, yung Prime Philippines, ang push talaga namin, wala ng VAT pag nag-rental ka, specifically yung mga individual owners. Siyempre, yung mga developers, dahil talagang yun ang business, mga VAT yan. Pero yung mga secondary market, so yung mga developers hindi ito masyadong nafe-feel eh. Yung binabanggit ko kanina na pretty much 64% lang matitira. Ang nakakaramdaman yan, yung mga first buyer pag ibebenta na sa secondary market. So, konti na lang naiiwan sa kanila. Then, of course, solutions, no, yung longer mortgages. Siyempre, si Pag-ibig kaya, no? Pero dapat yung mga banks din natin, no? Meron nagti-10, perhaps 15, pero habulin natin yung 20, even 30 years, no? Then, of course, more incentives sa mga first-time home buyers. So, ito yung tinitingnan namin, no? And hopefully, makatulong natin, no, kayo and Enrea in pushing para mas ma-drive natin, no, mas maraming bibili ng residential products. Not only condo, pero lots, house and lots as well. Okay, punta na naman tayo sa other sector. Ito, bibilisan ko na lang to, no? So ito, ang big winner for us, it has been industrial, no? Because of e-commerce, no, yung logistics, no? So malaki talaga yan, no? Yung occupancy na talaga nila mataas. Especially modern ones. Yung mga bodega na ambient air, wala masyadong mahirap pumasok ang even 20-footer, 40-footer hirap. Medyo naiiwan na yan. Yung mga new developments talagang dapat yung circulation, the turning movement, turning radius ng mga trucks kaya, no? So yun yung mga big winners, so to speak, no? In terms of eto, bibilisan ko na lang to, no? So ito, average lease rates natin, no? Nationwide, hindi pa umaabot ng 300. May mga nagpi-300 plus, lalo na yung mga grade A. Ito yung mga may loading bay, no? Lalo na may mga cold storage pa. Yun talagang more than 300 yan, no? Per square meter per month, no? But in terms of occupancy, mataas pa rin, no? So yun tinitingnan natin. Ito for us, ito pa rin yung we're still betting on industrial. So ito yung future na natin, no? Build to suit because of the requirements, especially yung mga big occupiers, yung mga, I can't name names, pero yung mga malalaki, and not only e-commerce, pati yung mga retailers na nag-ano ng supply chain nila. Siyempre, retailers yan, kailangan, kahit yung mga convenience, hard discount, kailangan ng supply chain nila. May mga malalaking warehouses yan after so many kilometers. So yan, yung tinutulungan namin. No? So nationwide, we're expecting an increase of 45% annually. Pero these rates tataas in the next 2 to 3 years. Around 0 to 2% increase kahit tumataas yung supply. Kasi sa office tataas yung supply, kaya medyo magdidip ng konting occupancy. No? And yung lease rates medyo maganda kung mag-hold, no? Pero yung sa warehouses, mag-increase siya. Build to suit, ito yung trend sa warehouses. In terms of office, POGO wala na yan, no? Definitely. BPO pa rin increasing, but not as fast. Pero new trends yung government offices and of course yung traditional offices natin. No? In the next 2 years, medyo merong new supply coming online sa NCR. So medyo meron lang pressure ng konti sa occupancy and sa lease rates. Pero we're looking at increasing occupancy, especially yung primary CBDs. Sila yung ahead. If you would look at this chart, no, pretty much yung Makati, BGC and Ortigas, they're back sa 2018-2019 level. Sila lang, no, yung rates. Pating occupancy nila mataas na, no? High 80%. No? Pero the rest hindi pa. No? But ang good news, ito FYI lang to. No? But ang good news is all over the country. So not only Cebu, not only Davao, tititirang Iloilo, Bacolod, of course, Clark, Baguio, so talagang nag-expand yung coverage. Mainly, maximizing yung talents. So yun ang advantage sa atin, yung talents. Okay. Then, ito yung ano natin, no? Yung supply would increase in the next 2 years. So meron konting, we're expecting decent, no? 1% lease increase lalo na yung mga primary CBDs, no? Occupancy medyo hopefully mag-hold up, no? So, at ang maganda dito talagang nag-ano siya, no? Yung BPOs nandiyan and they are expanding all over the country. Then some retail, eto, no? We're not just looking at malls. In fact, marami nang lumalabas sa mall, no? Yung Uniqlo, yung Starbucks, ang dami gusto, may mga drive-thru pa, experience na. We're not just selling, sa retail, we're not just selling products, we're selling time, no? Yung kumbaga convenience, yung experience, no? Annual mall growth, mataas pa rin, no? Around less than 100,000 square meters per year sa mall, no? NCR vacancy, no, babalik na in the next 2 years, no, yung occupancy. Maganda ng occupancy ng NCR malls. Ang maganda dito yung expansion outside of NCR. Definitely F&B pa rin, no, and lifestyle concepts, no. Then if you would notice, yung mga dati malaking cinema, ngayon iba na, no? So nag-repurpose, a lot of the malls nag-repurpose ng mga spaces. Okay, with that, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to your questions later sa open forum. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Prof. Jojo, for that insightful perspective on the year ahead for the real estate industry. Well, at this point, we now open the floor for our question and answer. This is your opportunity to learn even more from our live discussions. Just post your questions for our speaker along with your name and chapter or institution in the chat box of this wall. So to start off, may we call on our moderator, National Executive Vice President Jovi Tupas to kindly lead the open forum. EVP Jovi.
Yes, Miss Cheryl, but before that, I think we have some announcements muna from our secretariat. CBO?
As the world changes, new opportunities arise. Pampanga is dubbed as the next big thing. As Metro Manila decongests, it opens more opportunities in the region, like being the gateway to global connectivity, the avenue for career growth, and linking the province to other parts of the country. This is the perfect time to step up our goal. Now is the time to venture into vertical development. We will now offer a different kind of living experience, one defined by lifestyle, convenience, and upscale living. A new kind of development, offering more than just living, but also making the most out of your life with freedom and imagination.
Do you think we can do it?
Of course!
Ang Mondo Skim Coat SK3 ay isang ready-to-use na acrylic skim coat paste. Ito ay madaling ipahid at madaling gamitin para sa minor imperfections ng masonry surfaces na magre-resulta sa makinis at patibay na finish bago pinturahan. Ang Mondo SK3 ay ready-to-use at easy to apply. Sag-resistant. Mayroong very good adhesion sa concrete and masonry surface. Easy to sand. Resistant sa hairline cracks. At makaka-achieve ng smooth surface finish. Ang Mondo Skim Coat SK3 ay recommended para sa interior at exterior surfaces. Ito ay recommended para sa plastered masonry walls, precast walls, concrete columns, ceilings, at iba pa tulad ng overhead applications. Madaling gamitin at ipahid ang Mondo Skim Coat SK3 gamit ang mga sumusunod na tools and equipments: scraper or putty knife, stainless steel trowel, cloth. Simulan sa surface preparation. Siguraduhin ito ay tuyo at malinis, free from oil, grease, dust, dirt, at iba pang contaminants. Kung bago ang surface, siguruhin ito ay nag-cure na ng 5 hanggang 7 araw bago mag-apply ng Skim Coat SK3. Ang Mondo Skim Coat SK3 ay ready to use at hindi na kailangang haluin at haluan ng kahit anong materials gaya ng tubig o semento. At dahil ito ay ready to use, hindi na kailangan mag-alala na baka matuyo o tumigas ang skim coat compound. Matapos gamitin at kung hindi naubos, siguruhing natakpan ng maigi at i-store ito sa cool and dry place at maaari ulit itong magamit sa susunod na application. Basain ng kaunti ang concrete surface gamit ang tubig o basang-basahan bago mag-apply. I-apply ang first coat ng Mondo's Skim Coat SK3 gamit ang malinis na stainless trowel at may kapal na 1 mm per coat. Maghintay ng 30 minutes hanggang 2 oras kada coat. Depende sa kapal at kondisyon ng temperatura bago mag-apply ng susunod na coat. Patuyuin ng 4 hanggang 6 na oras bago lihain ang mga minor imperfections, mga risalte at mga hindi gaanong pantay na application. Hayaang mag-cure ng 24 hours. For best results, gamitin ang tamang recommended na painting system. Mag-apply ng 1 coat of concrete primer and sealer. Patuyuin bago mag-apply ng 2 top coats. Mondo Skim Coat SK3, super strong at super sulit pa. Mondo, world-class building solutions. Building a world of possibilities. For more information, visit our website on www.mondo.ph and follow us on our social media pages. Brought to you by Davis Paints.
Okay, so we're back here, Miss Cheryl, So we'll be tayong dalawa pa rin moderators for this afternoon. So again, thank you very much to Cons Jojo Salas for that very interesting presentation, quite different to the point na we actually have some set questions pero sobrang interesting ng topic mo. Bigla ako napaisip, So probably because Jojo, for our first question, I would just like to know, in the real estate cycle, for example, you can classify this into siguro residential real estate or commercial real estate, but maybe we can start with residential real estate. Are we now in the buyer's market, the seller's market, the hold market, or the let's wait for a longer time market?
Thank you, Cons Jovi, So definitely it's a buyer's market, Ang daming choices. And hindi lang buyer's market, tenants market, So ito yung perfect time na piliin nyo na yung mga gusto nyo, Kung lilipat kayo, nagre-renta, whether malapit sa office or ito yung time, But of course, hindi lahat, Sabi ko nga like for luxury, makaka 30% discount ka ba basta-basta? Probably not, as I said a while ago, yung oversupply, localized siya and per segment. Not all segment, Yung mid-market condo in NCR, especially yung MOA area, a little bit of Quezon City, yung towards Cavite, yung basically yung mga nag-bet sa Pogo, sila yung medyo tinamaan kasi they really, I would say, overbuilt. Even yung mga offices, 'di ba? Marami nga yung mga buildings sa Mall of Asia area, kokonti yung maraming available floors, I would say, it's a buyer's market. And what developers are doing, remember, nabanggit ko kanina, it's an end user market. Dati, investor-driven. Gusto natin yung overseas Pilipinas, bumili kayo kahit di nyo tirahan. Ito nga yung mga packages natin before, di ba? Yung mga condotel. Diba? So, yung operate na ng developer or meron siyang management company or a third-party management na i-operate yung condotel, instead na Airbnb. Kasi minsan, yung iba talagang minomonitor yun. I would say, to go back to the investor-driven. So right now, it's an end-user market. Buyer's market, end-user. If we want, and Rhea, if we want to go back to the investment-driven buyers sa mga residential condo natin, make it really nice for buyers, for investors. So yung taxes, sa zonal value, yung VAT sa rent, lalo kung individual owner ka, bakit pa yung VAT? Sabi nga namin dito, we were discussing, maybe i-VAT ka dun sa rent. Pero pag magbebenta ka, meron kang CGT, tapos may VAT ka pa, medyo redundant yun. Di ba? Pero kami namin, value add mo na nagparenta ka lang. No? Remember, we're protecting yung residential sector natin, especially yung economic and socialized. So protected yan. Yun talaga yung mga exempted sa maraming taxes. No? But if we want to the investors to buy again, the overseas Filipinos, local executives, foreigners, make it really sabi ko nga bakit bumibili? Yung mga nagulat kami bumibili yung mga clients din namin, whether investment grade, no, yung marami yan, or patingi-tingi. Kasi yung price to buy, 250, 300,000 pesos per square, hindi pa nga luxury na luxury yun dito eh. Meron pang mas mahal doon dito, right? Tapos yung taxes, zero tax. How can we compete with that? Di ba? Tapos, yung ano mo pa, yung kita mo sa rent, mababat pa. So, we have to take a look at that one. Then, gaano ba kalaki? Di ako makipag-compete sa number of months, number of years. Pero kaya ako pinakita yung slide kanina. If you want to forecast 5 years, 10 years, kailangan balikan mo rin 5 years, 10 years. We went back 10 years back. Compare. No, and yung boom years, NCR condo, we were doing maximum, well, ang napik na nakita ko, 20,000 units of condo sold. Of course, pre-selling yun. Of course, reservation sales, karamihan nun. Pero we were doing 20,000 a year. No? Then, yung supply mo, maraming nag-delay. So if you want to compute ilang months ba, ilang years, titignan mo, dahil pa karami talaga. Yan ba talaga yung expected supply o inipit na yan ng developers? Tapos anong divisor mo? Anong sa absorption? 8,000 ba? 10,000 o 20,000? Hindi ko sinasabing 20,000. Hindi ko sinasabing 15,000. Pero you have to check ano ba yung divisor mo? Compute. So sabi ko nga, sure lahat tayo dito magagaling in terms of projecting and all. Pero you have to check your ano yung binabacktrack mong historical data, ano yung supply data mo, ano yung absorption data mo to come up with the number of years. Ang ano ko dito is, aggregate yun eh. It has to be disaggregate. Taste and preferences. Marami ngayon nag-a-adjust, pati yung customize, no? Yung ceiling, flooring, no? Masyadong customized. Siyempre, mahal yun. And flexibility, no? Hindi ko nasasabihin kung saan developer ko before. Pero meron kang, at maraming nahabol yung exemption sa VAT. So yung basic, no, yung, ano na ba yung exemption sa VAT ngayon? 5 million, anyway, hahabulin mo yung walang VAT, yun yung basic turnover. Then meron kang package A na medyo okay, package B and C na sobrang ganda. Talagang ano siya, customized dun sa preferences ng buyers. Sorry, ang haba, no? So talagang it's a buyer's market, but we have to really check. We have to do our homework sa anong area natin, anong market segment ang tinatarget natin. Kung overseas Filipinos, expats, talagang we have to check their taste and preferences.
Partner Cheryl?
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof. Jojo, no, EVP Jovi. There are a couple of questions that came in dito sa chat wall natin. I think they are related, so maybe you would like to address both questions from Enrea Metro Rizal, past President Israel Dirain, no, and our former Secretary and now Trustee in the chapter also, Secretary Lee Ramirez. So his question goes like, Cons Jojo, what would be your good suggestion to maximize earnings or yung ROI for condo owners? Given that based on the presentations earlier, parang, di ba, parang di na masyadong profitable yung flipping strategy. And ako, for me, no, for a fact that it was really one of our sales strategies to investors back then. So what would be your suggestion to push again the investor market in terms of condo owners selling? Tapos later ko itatanong yung kay Sec Lee. Prof. Jo?
Marami kayong kumita sa flipping. Before talagang flipping is the way to go. No? Ngayon, naipit na yon. Right now, you really have, kung di ka naman nagmamadali, kumita ka na muna sa rent. And hopefully, malakad natin na wala ng VAT yung individual owners na nagpaparent, no? Or kung meron man yun, pag nagbenta ka, walang VAT yung sale mo, no? So basically, you have to really rent it out. So yun yung kasi otherwise kung wala kang rental income, meron ka pang dues, may realty tax ka pa, di ba? So that's the only way to go. And we have to really factor in saan natin kukunin yung mga tenants. Again, yung tenants, yun nga, no, yung preferences nila, like yung kailangan, kaya nila mag-set up ng home office, no? Ewan ko kung i-factor in mo yung free wifi, no? Siyempre, depende naman sa ano nyo yan, usapan nyo, no? But basically, yung mga buyers like me, meron akong condo rin, no? Kung di ka nagmamadali, wag mo munang ibenta. No? You just have to, matagal talaga yung kumita ka from your rent. Lalo na kung medyo bumaba rin yung rent. At historically, kung titingnan natin, talagang nag-dip, no? Even I myself, lalo yung pandemic, imbis na mawalang tenant, binaba mo na lang yung rent. Diba? I'm sure may mga naka-experience sa inyo ngayon. So you have to really do the long term na lease ka muna, no? Kahit 1 year, 2 years, no? So that's the only way. Otherwise, kung nagmamadali ka, yun nga, no? Yun nga yung pinakita namin and tingin namin very ano yun. Some sellers are really taking a hit, no? Taking a loss, lalo na dun sa taxes.
Yeah, actually, in relation to that, no, there's a follow-up in relation naman to RP Vara. Since RP Vara is set to be implemented, this is the question of Lee Ramirez. Do we still need then to push through or to push for the realignment of zonal values? Because we will be expecting the zonal values also to be to increase. Kasi ang dami nating mga zonal values dyan, talagang outdated na. And with this RP Vara, therefore adjustments will have to be made. So hindi pa siya maa-address. It's gonna be like triple whammy already, di ba? May VAT, tapos and all those items earlier mentioned. So with the realignment, paano ba yun? What is gonna be the impact, Prof. Jo?
Actually, hindi yung zonal values ang outdated kasi kaka-update ang karamihan. Yung assessed values, yung mga local government. Actually, it can be an opportunity. And Rhea, no, I'm encouraging everyone, no, take the opportunity ng RP Vara. How do we implement it? Basically, yung RP Vara, ito yung take namin dyan. Basically, before kasi, yung mga local mga mayors, no, mga vice mayors, councilor, pag nag-increase ka ng realty tax, it's a suicide. Hindi ka naman nanalo, no? Pag ikaw ang nag-increase na, kaya for the longest time, yung realty taxes, yung assessed value, hindi yan gumagalaw. So basically, ano nga dyan ang takot, because of RP Vara, they would just say, law yan, hindi kami yan. So parang ang takot, baka biglang mag-increase. It could be, pero it's an opportunity. Remember, the reason why merong RP Vara, itong updating ng zonal values and all, we want na yung market value, yung zonal value, yung assessed values, iisa yung basis. Pero mag-adjust ka sa assessment level, etc., etc. So yung RP Vara, kailangan, di ba, yung schedule of market value. Supposedly, yung market value nun, tsaka zonal value, close na, kundi man isang figure magkakadikit. No? Now, it's an opportunity paning assessment level, paning zonal. So, let's take this opportunity. Ito yung post, no? Ito, talaga, we have to shake the tree. Ito yung nangyayari, no? Yung investor natin dati, nagdadalawang isip because of VAT, because of zonal, because of assessed value. So, high time for us, practitioners, lalo na active tayo sa real estate industry natin. Tignan natin how we can maximize yung implementation ng RP Vara, not only na dumidikit na yung assessed value sa zonal value at market value, pati yung application niya dun sa mga sa capital gains, sa VAT, and other realty tax, of course, no? Para ano siya, in a way, hindi ka ma-triple whammy, to use your word, no? Pero maging ma-caution natin. At the same time, meron namang leeway yung mga local government na hindi bigla, next year gano'n na. Kumbaga, siya, graduated. Graduated yung pag-adjust, graduated yung assessment level. Para at the same time, in fact, the local governments, they have the capacity na magkaroon ka ng realty tax holiday, business tax holiday as part of their investment code, di ba? To attract investment. So yung ano natin, and yung residential sector, whether condo man yan or yung sa housing lot, whether end user or yung sa rental markets, no, kailangan natin bantayan yung housing sector. And I think makikinig naman ng mga local governments, no, especially with NREA, no, and then I think even BIR na DOF, they will listen kung paano na, and BOI, no, kasi yung investment before yung housing kasama yan sa investment priorities natin, no, and let me take this opportunity na siguro, Ma'am May, no, sabihin ko na rin yung specifically yung sa BOI to put back yung housing sector sa mabibigyan ng incentives. Okay, dati housing, so whether socialized or economic, normally yung protected sector natin socialized and economic. More importantly, what we want is to promote yung housing na malapit sa work. Whether BPO, whether warehouses. Remember, natatalo tayo sa China and Vietnam kasi yung workers sila sa mga industries nandun, malapit sa mga factories. Yung BPO natin, no, bakit nila gusto ng work from home? They have to travel hours, no? So, kung kaya na ito lang yung broad concepts na inaano namin sa Prime, no? Kung kaya ng company nang magbigay ng housing, whether provided na parang benefit or of course may minimum, kasi it will cut yung travel time. So yung traffic natin mababawasan din, no? At the same time, sa dami ng quote-unquote available, it's a buyer's market and tenant's market, ito yung time kung paano natin si-shape, paano natin ma-absorb itong mga to, no? And let the companies, let the developers help, no, yung mga workers, BPOs, no? So ibig sabihin, pag nag-provide yung company, no, yung mga developer, pag nag-provide sila for the factories, no, for the manufacturing, and it's increasing yung ng manufacturing natin, no, and yung mga BPOs pag nag-provide ng housing sa mga workers nila, then may incentives. So yun ang broad strokes. I'm sure marami dito, no, kung paano natin structure yon, and para mabalik sa BOI, no, yung incentive sa mga housing, not only selling but also leasing.
Yes, thank you very much, Cons Jojo. No, affected ako do sa sa increase ng assessment value kasi I paid in advance for 2026 last November or December, I think. And then this January, napadala na ako ng letter that there was an increase doon sa here in Taguig ng assessed value. So I had to pay again. So akala ko naman kapag nag-advance na ako, okay na, wala na, kalimutan na, hindi pa pala. So I was reassessed again. So nagbayad ulit ako ng RPT additional, So again, medyo for those of you listening right now, kindly double check again your RPT or sa assessor's office kung meron increase kasi you're also supposed to pay yung increase na yon. So before we continue, we would like to acknowledge first our some of our guests online, Architect Brian John Mangyo, President of the Central Country Estates, Inc., or the Lakeshore in Pampanga. We have Advisor Mars Mendoza. We have Mr. Eric Cordova from Aboitiz Land. We also would like to say hi and hello to our participants from the NREA Catanduanes Chapter, Bataan, Pampanga, Metro Manila North, Metro Manila West, Metro CBD, Cavite, Rizal, and also our students from the Ateneo de Manila University. And for my next question, ito para yes, Miss Cheryl.
Yeah, am I gonna throw in the next question?
I'll just throw one question lang na maliit lang.
Okay.
Okay, so my next question para maiba-iba naman. On the issue of millennials, kasi you mentioned also, Cons Jojo, on the millennials, Gen Z and AI. With the millennials and Gen Z shaping demand, and AI now influencing property discovery, how should developers and brokers reposition themselves to stay relevant in the next 3, 5, or maybe up to 10 years since this will be the new market for real estate and property?
Kagulat-gulat, di ba? More than 50% na sila ng millennials and Gen Z. And in fact, pati yung, I'm sure, sa workplaces natin, sa mga employees natin, colleagues natin, syempre iba, ito yung sanay na talaga no, kaya lang mag-work kahit sa phone. Di ba? Ako kaya ang laptop pa rin ako eh. Siguro yung call and konting check yung mga documents, pero yung Excel and all, kailangan ko pa rin laptop, no? Definitely, it's affecting yung, and we should be sensitive kung anong gusto nila. Kaya nga yung setup na home office, importante yun, no, sa mga residential. Then, pati yung mga offices, no? Yung smart offices, di ba? Yung mga, hindi naman kailangan touchless. Kaya parang yung ID mo, dapat pwede. Pero ibig sabihin, they're expecting more. Lalo na pag nakakapag-abroad, they saw, syempre sa US, sa Europe, sa Singapore, Hong Kong, even Japan, no? Nakikita natin kung ano yung mga conveniences, ano yung mga, even the use of AI, di ba? Syempre, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, si Siri nga, sabi nga si Siri medyo napag-iiwanan ng konti, di ba? Pero, these are tools na ginagamit ng millennials and Gen Z. And bumibilis yung productivity. And they are expecting more. So, ibig sabihin, like example, no? Ito, conversation ko. I won't name one of the biggest developers, no? At mid-market, usually sanay siya. Nag-ano kami, no? Kunwari, one of my talks sabi, Joe, mahal pag naglagay pa ako ng room. So, imbis na one bedroom, studio pa rin. Pero the way they would set up yung mga studio nila, talagang kaya mag-asawa yan, no, kahit may isang anak, kasi studio kaya pa rin ng one kid. Pag nag-two kids ka, move out ka na talaga dapat, di ba? Kailangan lang meron kanya-kanyang corner. So at least kung dalawa man, no, yung husband and wife nandun, kaya nilang magsabay na mag-usod naman ng earphones and all eh. So you have to position, of course, yung mga wiring mo. Hindi naman kailangan ng cabling kasi ngayon puro wifi naman eh. Di ba? Ang importante, kaya nila mag-set up. Lalo na pag nag 1BR, 2BR ka. In fact, sa one of the corridors ngayon, yung C5 corridor, it's the billionaire's row, so to speak ngayon. Because of nandun siyempre nandun before si Eastwood, no, tawag dito, marami ng developments doon, si Grove. Ano yan, si Parklink, si Arcovia, yung bago, at saka si Bridgetown, then hanggang Arca South, no? Tuloy-tuloy yan. So, ang daming developments dyan. And surprisingly, ang isang dyan, again, one developer sabi, mas mabilis mabenta yung bigger units compared sa studio. In fact, yung first developments nila, may mga studio, dun sa sumunod, wala ng studio. Kasi mas 1BR, 2BR. No? Of course, again, depende sa market. Depende sa developer, no, kung anong tinatarget nyo. But specifically because of the work from home setup. Then of course, yung mga availability ng socket, no? Importante yun, no? And yung smart buildings, no? Yung of course sa condo, uso na ngayon, and kailangan mo talaga doon yung connection mo. Walang kwenta yung smart building kung walang connection sa Wi-Fi, di ba? Where you can control your kitchen, you can control your laundry, no, your aircon, bago ka pumasok, na-turn on mo na yung, lalo kung gusto mo ng sunset, pag uwi mo mainit, di ba? Dahil nandun yung bedroom mo, so na-turn on mo yung aircon mo, no, through your cellphone. So dapat yung mga siyempre, hindi lahat kaya yon, lalo kung sa mid-market ka lang. Maybe sa high-end luxury, kaya mo yon. Pero ito yung mga tinitignan. Ito ano ba yung, kasi kung konti lang yung difference, pero mapoprovide mo yon, then bibilin ng mga millennials and Gen Z. And they are buying, millennials and Gen Z. Remember, hindi traditional yung work nila. Influencer sila, yung mga nagpo-push ng mga products online, and kumikita sila thousands and thousands. Di ba? And namimili sila ng kondo. Wow, may pambili ka? Yes, kasi marami silang fans, marami silang followers, at marami silang kita. 'Di ba? And they are buying. Traditionally, baka hindi sila makapag-bank loan, pero they don't need to get a bank loan kasi kaya na ng cash. 'Di ba? So, kailangan lang GCash. Ibig sabihin, kaya lang di ba? Whether GCash man yan or online payment, they can pay. So eto nga, even as when we analyze, wow, 50% na pala sila. Ibig sabihin, not only as workers, but also as investors, buyers, and tenants. At marami dyan, trophy yan eh. Parang wala pa silang 30, wala pang 25, may condo na. Diba? Or, I move out, I have my own condo kahit nagre-renta lang. 'di ba? At hindi ako maasa sa mom ko ng pang-rent ako. Kaya so yun yung parang mga ano eh. But of course, minsan ang isa kaya ko rin nabanggit yung kotse kanina, minsan talagang bibili ba ako ng kotse na napakamura or bibili akong kondo. Laging ganun pa rin, di ba? And why not both? Di ba? Kung kaya naman. I hope I answered your question. No?
Yes, thank you very much. Miss Cheryl?
Oh, nakaka-relate ang mga Gen Zs dito. EVP Jovi, di ba? Condo or car? Why not get both?
Hindi Gen X ha, Gen Z.
Gen Z and millennials. We have a lot here in the audience today.
Prof. Cheryl, mga students mo.
Oo, di ba? And that's the reason nga why nga we actually have to teach them no how to invest in properties because compared to like cars, investing in other stuffs, ito kasi tangible asset, di ba? It's safer. So, yeah, I guess it's more of introducing the opportunity to these millennials also and Gen Zs. Now, there's a question over here from one of our participants, Kevin. Sir, regarding big transaction on lot properties, no? For instance, the buyer paid an earnest money and signed a MOA, then eventually canceled the transaction. What will be the basis for the broker's commission in this case?
Sa Enrayan lang tanong yan, huwag na yung mga very specific case studies. I'm sure may mga ano yan, but sa Enrayan na lang yan. Kaya yan ni Consultant Jovi.
Consultant Jovi. Ito yung nasa number 3 question natin. But yeah, so
and normally merong nakano naman kahit mga developers, kahit ano, merong graduated di ba? So may mga schedule. So tingnan niyo na lang.
Yeah, so
Sorry
Kevin,
pasensya na para we can
Kevin,
focus on
take note of that advice from our speaker, Kevin. All right. There's another question here, no? In a news report kasi, Prime Philippines is quoted as saying that there is fundamentally different real estate cycle ahead. Can you please elaborate on this, Prof. Jo?
Yes. So yun yung ano namin, no? Kaya nga reinvention. Primarily because of demographics, because of the changing in taste and preferences, no. So actually substantially nabanggit ko na yan eh. Ang pinakano dito is yung one is work from home, no. Because of that, we have to adjust not only yung condo, residential condo, pati yung office, no. So real estate actors, developers, landlords, we have to really deep dive kung ano yung demand drivers natin. Siyempre, depende sa segment, depende sa sector, whether office, industrial, residential, no, retail. We have to really know yung profound changes sa tastes and preferences. So, ang cycle, parang we cannot use our formulation noong 2016-2019. No, okay, eto kaya nga yung flipping, hindi na pwedeng flipping na dati. 'Di ba, Cheryl, ang dami mong kinita sa flipping, 'di ba? Pero hindi na pwede 'yun. In fact, ang ginagawa ng mga kaibigan natin, 'di ba? Mga i-reserve one floor, even more, 'di ba? At syempre, benta na 'yon. At the same time, light lang yung payment. Tapos, pag kailangan ibenta o mayroong hinahanap na VIP client, ibibigay yung ibang mga units. Now, before mag-turnover nga, fini-flip, no? Now, we cannot do that. At the same time, ang ano natin, so, yung formulation natin, yung assumptions natin dati, ibang-iba na. So, we have to factor in, yun nga, no, yung realities sa tax regime, no? Not only yung sa VAT, no? Of course, yung zone na nabanggit natin, pating RP Vara, no? Then, yung preferences, yung work from home, yung digital nomads, no? So servicing international clients, and meron tayong foreign nomads dito nag-work, no? Pwede rin nating matapos yung opportunity yon. So having said, tapos yung Pogo wala na. So forget about Pogo, and remember, hindi sila yung umalis, tayo nagpaalis Huwag yung sisihin kasi tayo nagpaalis sa kanila eh. In fact, we did the Chinese government a favor kasi ito yung mga tumatakas sa Chinese government, yung pondo nila linalabas nila ng China, no? Anyway, so wala na yun, but BPO still growing, no? Decent 6 to 7% annually. Then of course yung mga traditional offices and government offices. Sa retail, talagang customer experience. So ibig sabihin, yung cycle natin ngayon, we really have to check ano yung customer experience. Ano ba yung hinahanap? Ano yung taste and preferences nila? We cannot use yung dati nating formulation. We have to really basically do our homework.
True. Yeah.
Okay, so again, Miss Cheryl, apologies kanina na I was getting coffee kanina. So anyway, narinig ko yung sa question kanina regarding sa MOA, broker commission, cancellation. So maybe short answer to that is refer to your memorandum of agreement or refer to your license to sell agreement or refer to your contracts kasi anything that is not written is like sand na tinapon mo lang na bigla-biglaan na nawawala, no? So, yun lang yung short answer, no? Refer to your document, refer to your contract. Ano ba sinasabi doon? So, dapat may nakalagay doon. So, going back to Cons Jojo. Cons Jojo, for example, picture yourself as an investor and then you have that option. Would you be buying a residential condo, a vacant lot, or an industrial property? For example, you're given mga 20 years period na if you buy now, you expect after 20 years. Sa tingin nyo, which one would be more profitable for you as an investor?
Kung 20 years lahat yan kikita. Pero ano yung pinakamalaking kita? At gaano kabilis kumita, no? I think in 20 years, whether it's office, residential, retail, industrial, kikita yan, no? But ang ano lang namin, ang take namin, right now kasi, mas mura ang value ng mga warehouses, industrial, and may built-to-suit na rin sa warehouses, no? So, mas lower, no? Lower yung investment mo as compared sa office, sa retail, lalo na, no? So, kami sa Prime Philippines, we're betting on industrial. And I think kahit tayo individual, kumbaga small investors, yung investment natin maliit lang, kaya naman natin yung mga, remember nagpa-pop up, remember yung mga retailers, I won't name names na whether convenience, hard discount, no, yung mga logistics, kailangan nila every so many kilometers ng mga big warehouses kasi yung supply chain nila. Kaya gaano karami ang 7-Eleven, ang Kelchans, no? Ang O-Save, ang Dali and all. Maliliit yan. Hindi naman nila yung sinusuplayan pa isa-isa. Meron silang supply chain. Ganon din yung mga Shopee, Lazada, even Temu. Meron silang distribution center, merong sorting center, merong last mile. No? So may mga opportunity. Anyway, going back, we feel, no, yung Prime, we're still betting on industrial. Ito yung mababa, lower investment requirement, at the same time, mabilis. But in 20 years, kikita lahat yan. Like hotel, mahal ang hotel. No? To earn your first peso, kailangan fully completed, fully fitted out, fully staffed, fully operational before you earn your first peso. And hindi pa yun, kumbaga, nire-recover mo pa lang yung investment. But over time, mas mabilis kumita ang mga hotel. Of course, with your right market and right location. But, again, yung quick answer, the short of it would be industrial.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest trends right now, no? EVP Jovi, industrial properties are really booming, no? Anyway, we have another question in the chat box, Prof. Jo, from Sherry Santos. This is pertaining naman to the Gen Zs. No? With Gen Zs being highly aware and comfortable with artificial intelligence nowadays, how do you see AI then potentially replacing brokers in the future?
Kailangan mag-level up tayo. Kahit naman yung mga BPOs, it's a threat, but they are leveling up. No? Sabi nga nila, yung mga basic info, kaya na ng mga bot yan eh. At marami na ngayon nagbobot. Actually sa China, sabi nga ng mga natin, ng mga practitioners sa China, konti lang yung agents na doon kasi puro bot. Kaya sagutin ng mga bot. Kaya mga basic questions, no, yung product knowledge natin, no? Kasi product knowledge nga yan, di ba? Kaya ng bot yun. Dapat mag-level up tayo. Remember, our role is meeting of the minds, matching yung buyers and seller. Yung kailangan natin mag-level up. And kailangan natin gamitin yung AI para dun sa lead generation natin. Kung I'm sure si Prof. Jovi, marami niya tinuturo, no? Sa AI, sa ChatGPT, sa Facebook, no? Sa online pa lang, ng iba-ibang platforms pa lang, dapat yan ginagamit mo na. Dapat minamaximize mo yung AI. Kung hindi, iiwanan ka ni Prof. Jovi. Marami nang gumagamit sa AI. We have to use them. And huwag ka magpaiwan sa AI. Kailangan mag-level up. No? So yung lead generation, yung mga questions and all, kaya ng AI yan, kaya ng bot. Ang di kaya ng bot, kumbaga yung ng meeting of the minds. Tayo pa rin ang implement nun. So we have to maximize this and level up. Ganon din yung mga BPOs. They have to level up. Ang ano nga dyan di ba ang ano natin, ito medyo racist joke, no? Pero parang ang advantage natin sa India, sa BPOs, parang yung tawag dito, yung anong tawag dito? The way we talk, di ba? Yung ano ang tawag sa ano natin? Basically, yung accent, di ba? So, parang iba. AI, kaya nang tanggalin yung accent. Kaya kahit anong pang accent mo, pag nagsalita ka, pwedeng ng lumalabas, naririnig ng kausap mo sa American accent, Boston accent, o kung ano man, LA accent, no? Kaya na yun ng bot, no? So, kumbaga yung advantage natin on yung Filipino English natin, mas tawag dito sa pandinig, mawawala rin yun. So, kailangan mag-level up talaga tayo.
Ayun naman, level up. So, Sherry, there's no need to fear, no? As a broker, AI cannot substitute us humans, especially with the knowledge that we have, expertise, no, as brokers. Kailangan, kaya nga sila, assistant lang natin sila. At the end of the day, it will be the real estate broker to finalize the transaction and handle the negotiation. Okay, so do you have any other question in the wall, EVP Jovi? By the way, yung kanina na nagtanong is Kevin, no? He's from Cagayan de Oro, Metro Gold Rising Chapter, and they are 3 here attending. Welcome, Enrea Metro Gold, no? Cagayan de Oro. Okay?
Yes, Miss Cheryl. So siguro I would also like to take this opportunity to ask Cons Jojo since kadalasan we're focusing on Metro Manila, NCR. So in the provinces, if you were given siguro mga top 5 bets siguro in the provinces, let's exclude na yung mga Cebu, Davao. Exclude na natin yun kasi masyado na maraming news eh. Like for example, we have here Cagayan de Oro, Pampanga, Bataan, maybe Tarlac or other areas, growth areas that you perceive will be developing. Because marami din tayong mga investors dito who wants to find out nasa na ba yung next big thing. Parang I don't want to go to a location na lahat big time na. I want to go to a place wherein I'll be, if not the first, one of the first, and then hopefully in 10, 15 years, kikita na ako. So, which are the probably promising areas or provinces in the Philippines outside of Metro Manila?
Siyempre, laging follow the roads, follow the toll roads, follow the airports, no? Pero in terms of talaga dyan, marami naman yan. BBM, yung Build Better More, no? Ang dami niyan. But I think, based sa demand, based sa inquiry, and based dun sa recent law na siya, no? Yung NIR. Ano ba yung NIR? Negros Island region. So, Bacolod is the big winner. Una, dikit pa rin siya sa Iloilo and all, no? So, biggest winner ang Bacolod. Yan ang tingin namin at maraming inquiry dyan, no? And I'm sure marami nang dyan. No? And of course, kung yun yung sa Visayas, no? Of course, Dumaguete rin because of NIR, no? Then yung opportunities pa rin dun sa Leyte and Samar, no? But syempre, among and Puerto Princesa, marami rin sa Puerto Princesa, ang daming ganap, so to speak, di ba? So, more than 5 na yan, ha? Pero syempre, yung sa Luzon, dahil malaki pa rin yan, pushing na tayo, no? Beyond, ano na tayo, beyond Tarlac, nasa hindi, beyond Pangasinan, nasa La Union, nasa Isabela na, nasa Bicol na, no? And sa Bicol, tinitingnan, because of the, ano nga ba yung nabaha? Anyway, tinitingnan alin yung hindi nabaha doon. No, so yun yung mga, remember, bukod sa follow the roads, tignan mo kung alin ang di pinabaha, di ba? So yung mga hazards. Then of course, sa Davao, it's also Metro Davao. Siyempre, Davao City, alam naman natin yan. Pero nag-expand. No? Even Baguio, Metro Baguio siya. We know yung Camp Jane, yung Baguio City, pero yung mga kasama doon. Marami namang opportunities and I'm sure sa galing natin, sa creativity natin, at sa mga developers natin, you can find your story. Whether sa residential, whether sa retail, office, no, even industrial, marami. No? And maraming, ang sabi ko nga kanina, ang daming infra projects. And all of these infra projects would create opportunities for all of us.
Okay, so thank you very much, Cons Jojo, no, Jomarks. Jomarks ang tawag ko talaga kay Cons Jojo. And so before we end or we end this session, maybe get some last words from Cons Jojo and maybe some insights of what Prime Philippines does for the real estate market.
Okay, yes, thank you. No, thank you for that. And right now, we are at the reinvention phase. No, tapos na tayo sa recovery. Of course, uneven yung recovery. Yung iba, fully recovered na. No, yung rates sa Makati, BGC, Ortigas, pretty much nasa 2018-2019 level na eh. No, bumabalik na sila. The occupancy, hindi pa nag 90%, no, o close to 90%, pero bumabalik na. Of course, umahabol yung iba, no. Then, we have to look at may mga low-hanging fruits. No? For us, ang low-hanging fruits would be industrial. And hindi siya parang malakihan. Even medium-sized, small-sized players, kaya mo mag-industrial, no? Whether maliit na bodega, maliit na warehouse, or even build-to-suit for that matter. Kaya even yung mga small developers, kaya yung mga build-to-suit. No? Maraming opportunities. For us, we are really, no, yung Prime Philippines, namin, we are looking for the underserved markets. Hindi kami nagfo-focus. Yes, meron kami sa Makati, so sa BGC, pero we're looking at yung mga, kaya nga, nabanggit ko kanina, no, yung mga Bacolod, no, yung mga Baguio, mga Bicol, no, Zamboanga, of course, Siargao, ibang market yan, even Surigao, kasi yung mga inquiries namin, kumakalat, and we are focusing on the underserved markets. And yun yung namin, I would say, one of our competitive advantage talaga, yung talagang focusing on yung mga ayaw puntahan ng mga friends namin, kami pinupuntahan namin. So with that, sabay tayo doon sa pag-angat. Ito yung next cycle of growth, no, reinvention, hindi pwedeng same formula. We have to do our homework.
Okay, and with that, thank you very much, Cons Joe Marks. Back to the Secretariat. Please stay for the awarding ceremonies.
Magkabahay na sa Fiesta Communities! Dito ka na sa award-winning Swak sa location. Swak sa design. Swak sa budget. Tuparin na ang pangarap na bahay dito sa Fiesta Communities. Swak sa lahat.
All right. And that concludes our open forum segment. I am sure that everyone is delighted with the bunch of knowledge and information gathered here today. And once again, thank you to our speaker and resource person, Consultant Jojo Salas, and of course, my co-moderator, EVP Jovi Tupas. At this point, to show our gratitude and appreciation for our speaker, we would like to award this certificate of appreciation. Can we flash that on screen? Okay. So, this certificate of appreciation is awarded to Consultant Jojo Romarx Salas, Head of Research and Advisory, Prime Philippines Incorporated. In sincere appreciation of your invaluable service to the association, as special guest and speaker during the NREA Business Forum Online entitled 2026 Philippine Real Estate Outlook on February 18, 2026 via Zoom and NREA Philippines Facebook Live. Signed, Consultant Imelda C. Magtoto, Board Chair Lady, Ms. Maria Lorena B. Sales, National President, Congresswoman Marisa Del Mar, Chair Emerita and Chair Lady, Board of Advisors, and Ms. Emelina V. Polido, Secretary General. Thank you so much and congratulations for the very successful talk today, Prof. Jo.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cons Jo Marx.
And now to award for the moderators, may we call back our MC, Ms. Pen Cortez.
All right. May we ask for our chair lady, Imelda Magtoto, for our presentation of certificate.
So the National Real Estate Association Incorporated, the one-stop trade organization, awards this certificate of appreciation to Consultant Jovi Francis Tupas, our NREA EVP, real estate broker, real estate appraiser, real estate consultant, in sincere appreciation of your invaluable service to the association as moderator during the NREA Business Forum Online entitled 2026 Philippine Real Estate Outlook on February 18, 2026 via Zoom and NREA Philippines Facebook Live. Signed by yours truly, Imelda Magtoto, Board Chair Lady, our National President, Ms. Loren Sales, our Chair Emerita and Chair Lady of Board of Advisor, Congresswoman Marisa Del Mar, and our Secretary General, Ms. Emmy Polido. Thank you, Sir Jovi.
Thank you very much, Andrea.
Thank you.
And for this certificate of appreciation, we would like to give this to Ms. Cheryl Sanguyo. REB, signed Consultant Imelda Magtoto, Maria Loren B. Sales, National President, and Congresswoman Marisa Del Mar, Chair Emerita of the National Association Board of Advisors.
Thank you. And finally, to award for the MC, maybe Chair Lady May.
Again, the National Real Estate Association Incorporated awards this certificate to our PRO, Ms. Josephine Cortez, Real Estate Broker. Again, in sincere appreciation of your invaluable service to the association as MC during the NREA Business Forum Online this February 18, 2026 via Zoom and NREA Philippines FB Live. Signed by yours truly, Imelda Magtoto, the Board Chair Lady, our National President, Ms. Loren Sales, and our Chair Emerita and Chair Lady of Board of Advisor, Congresswoman Marisa Del Mar, and Secretary General, Ms. Emmy Polido. Thank you, Ms. Pen.
Thank you, Ma'am. For our closing remark, may we call again our NREA National Vice President for External, Ms. Professor Cheryl Sanguyo.
Thank you, Pen. Okay, so as we conclude our first NREA Business Forum of the year, today's presentation on the 2026 Philippine Real Estate Outlook has given us a clear, data-backed view of the real estate market's realities and directions. We were reminded that the industry is currently shaped by shifting demand. We've seen earlier from investor-led to end-user-driven residential markets, more balanced buyer-seller dynamics, the continued strength of the industrial and logistics sector, and the gradual recovery of office and retail amid decentralization and changing work and lifestyle patterns. For us, as real estate service practitioners, understanding these trends is highly essential. We are very fortunate to receive this kind of market intelligence, which allows us to provide informed advice, manage expectations responsibly, and serve our clients with greater professionalism and credibility. Learning beyond our real estate listings and transactions is what enables us to remain relevant and trusted advisors in this very dynamic industry. So on behalf of the National Real Estate Association, we sincerely thank our guest speaker, real estate consultant Jojo Romark Salas, and the Prime Philippines team for sharing their insights and research findings. And of course, we also thank our organizers, officers, technical team, sponsors, members, and officers from the different NREA chapters, our students, guests, and all the participants for making this webinar a big success. So thank you so much again, and we look forward to learning with you again in our next webinar. Back to you, Ben.
Well, that wraps up our very first online business forum for now. See you, and we look forward for more events, and please stand by for some announcement. God bless and great day to everyone.
Thanks everyone. Requesting everyone to
Thank
kindly turn on your
you.
cameras.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Congratulations. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kasi everyone to
Thanks,
kindly turn
Prof.
on your
Jo.
cameras for the photo op.
Yeah, for another photo op.
Yeah.
Okay. Nakapag ano na rin po kasi kami kanina.